breakout tournament Mira's had.
Yeah, I mean, funnily enough, he had like the bad middle game, you know, right after the first one. But yeah, he's got them over the CLG hump. Now he's helped them smash NIP, one of the all-time great teams. Remember, not so long ago, on certain websites, ranked #1 in the world after their win at IEM Oakland. So it's not as though this is a team that had died off months and months ago. So yeah, you have to think, for him, this is a dream come true, you know, to have that sort of a performance. And I kind of agree with Config's point to a degree, which is earlier in the year, this lineup of NIP was the best in the world on cash. They had absolutely changed the meta. No one had any answers for them, but they now had these two key losses. Obviously, there was one at the major against Flipside, and now this one against a team that was on no one's radar.
Yeah, and just look, I've got his numbers down here. Mir had an ADR of 135.7. That must be the highest in any individual game so far this tournament. 3.67 kill to death ratio, 22 for 6.
Yeah, I mean, that's the benefit of having so many players. I mean, Chopper as well on that team doing well. On top of Mir is the trading was always so good. Even if there was a kill for the NIP side, it was trade. I mean, the way they took over bomb sites, NIP players just couldn't get anything done and trying to hold it down. They couldn't even buy time for rotations to come in. This was very well played from Vegas Squadron, and it's also something where, as much as I said NIP was shook, when you watch Vegas Squadron winning these rounds and string them together, when you're a team that's not even supposed to be in this game to begin with, and leading into it, and you're having that level of success, that's where you see people get overexcited. That's when you start seeing overextensions. But they stayed so calm and composed despite the inexperience, despite the mountain at the end decline.
Look, I've got his numbers down here.
They just made smart decisions throughout the entire game, never giving NIP any chance to get back into it.
Yeah, so does this mean must be the highest in any individual game so far this tournament? You know, we had them saying, you know, they're going to lose this game, they're going to blow out, they're going to be the also ran. 22 for 6. They've got 2 wins now. They're in that 2 and 2.
That's the benefit of having so many players. I mean, Chopper as well, and that team doing well. On top of Mirrors, the trading was always so good. Even if there was a kill for the NIP side, it was the way they took over bomb sites.
This was a magical game.
players just couldn't get anything done and trying to hold it down. They couldn't even buy time for rotations to come in. This was very well played from Vegas Squadron.
Crazy dynamic where everything was going right for Vegas Squadron, but normally you cool off.
When you watch Vegas Squadron winning these rounds and stringing together, when you're a team that's not even supposed to be in this game to begin with,
Vegas Squadron would break down and no one had any success. So not only did NIP never arrive in the game, they never could get into it. As a result, I actually feel in a weird way that Vegas never tested it. Everything was working. Even as we saw that for Shandy, in 1v2, somehow they got exactly the perfect spot. He wins the 1v2 against very experienced players. So this was a magical game. It was something you won't see happen again. That's kind of the point. That's why it's so special, I think, because you probably won't see this even in the next game.
Yeah, I still don't think they're going to be favorites against whoever they play. That's the danger of when you have players that level. That's when we saw the parallel with Aaron Chopper and the Mirror, especially when they have those kind of upset cycle. That's where the way they took over bomb sites. This was a match where they just bring the point in the next game, try to hold it down so they can win by time for rotation for them. It stops out. I don't think people will be playing on the Vegas
crazy dynamic where everything was going right for Vegas Squadron. But
also, you make the joke right at the top of the week, you were saying, oh, it's sharp, Vegas what's in the head, no chance of stickers, who knows? Anyway, we are going to take a short break. When we come back, somebody else is going to be heartbroken. Was it CLG or Cloud Mountain?
Everything was working. Even as we saw that for Shandy, in 1v2, somehow they got exactly the perfect spot. He wins the 1v2 against very experienced players. So this was a magical game. It was something you won't see happen again. That's kind of the point. That's why it was so special. I think you probably won't see this in the next game.
Yeah, I still don't think they're my favorites against whoever they play. So there is the danger of when you have players that level. That's when we saw doing well. Aaron Chopper and the Mirror, especially when they have those kind of upset cycle. That's where they get like so that's why this was a match where they just bring the point in the next game, try to hold that so they can win by time for rotation for just get stones. I don't think they will be playing on Vegas
crazy dynamic where everything was going right for Vegas Squadron. But also,
you make the joke right when you watch the week, you were saying, oh, it's sharp, Vegas what's in the head, no chance of stickers, who knows? Anyway, we are going to take a short break. When we come back, somebody else is going to be heartbroken. Was it CLG or Cloud up and down since. Let's have a look at the roster.
Yeah, I mean, that's the surprising thing is Kusa as the in-game leader coming into it. Hayes just passing it off. One of the younger stars, obviously, his story in professional Counter-Strike is well known. Went over to Liquid. He's really struggled to get on track at this level of play. He's been juggling around not only in-game leading, but he also had coming in as the primary opper, and then having that taken away from him, given over to Cutler. Now he's back to opping as well. Next to him, you have the other 2 young stars. You have Ethan. You have Sabrosa. Pretty young, pretty strong riflers, all things considered. I mean, they've had a couple decent games, but altogether, the big thing is this team really hasn't gelled. They don't give you the impression that they are a team. They have 2 veterans, Cutler and Hayes, who have played okay, but nothing that they're going to be able to carry this team through. So, I mean, it's a lot of reliance on young players who have never played on the stage before.
And since winning in Brazil, Cloud9 have been on a downward trajectory, isn't that right then?
Yeah, I mean, numerous times out in group stages. Obviously, I mean, the last one was kind of the most disappointing. This is a team where they went out in the group stage even at DreamHack Winter. You look at them and they still have quality. I mean, Stewie2K is still a good player. He still knows the style of play. He wants to play and plays around it. Nothing, I think, is one of the people. One of the guys who I think is kind of lost in this lineup. And Skadoodle has had individual rounds that were perfect pick-me-up, because the idea that you team that probably shouldn't even have been here, and then you
become your own director.
The crazy thing is, I think I mean, both of these teams have obviously shown that they enjoy playing Mirage, so I don't think we're going to see either of the teams banning it whatsoever. The big thing for CLG, at some point, they're going to have to take out Train.
Those 2 obviously going to be in the equation as well.
Yep. So it goes to Overpass.
That's crazy. That makes no sense.
I'm actually surprised that Cloud9
How's that happened?
Yeah, I don't know why Cloud9 takes on Mirage when they've showed their willingness to play it, and it's one of the maps that they feel they're very comfortable on, although, you know, they have struggled on it at times. But Overpass is a map equally. I think the big thing is they're going to have that over CLG. That's going to be where you really see some of the struggles in the communication, the coordination of CLG.
So your prediction?
I'm going to take Cloud9 with this one.
Duncan?
Yeah, I will take Cloud9 to win.
All right, Cloud9 to win from both of our analysts, and now we're going to throw over to our casters, James and DDK.
Thank you very much. Indeed, we will be casting you through these emotional times, James. Elimination matches, very emotional. I think that NIP, that was a very upsetting situation for many people, and something that will be continue to be talked about for a long time. But Cloud9 and CLG, Cloud9, they should have this in the bag, surely.
Well, Overpass is actually one of the maps where CLG have put in more work than others, from what we've seen. Again,
they can go through the door. So we won't see big rotation. Stewie is investigating though, and he's going to hear so many steps behind him. Automatic will distract, allowing Stewie to take a 1 versus 1 there. So they're getting picked apart, RCLG. However, they do get a frag back on the very forward Stewie, but still Automatic has to defend against the masses of CLG.
But now nothing's coming into the flank as well. So Automatic can buy time. Nope, can't buy time. Skadoodle's still here, however, and it's still the man advantage. CLG maybe trying to read what might be going on, and there's nothing. Made his presence known with a shot to the face of Sabrosa. Cutler has the bomb, but he has no more teammates. Perhaps he can find himself a USP at least. He's still got time to play with. He can still try and catch.
So Cutler, can he get that first very fast headshot? Yes! Skadoodle goes down. Now perhaps the plant will work out for Cutler, and this is a beautiful save. In of itself, the plant has gone down. That is going to assure money at the very least. Even if Cutler cannot clutch this round, but chasing Shroud there, Shroud very intelligently just falling back, allowing his teammate to get into position to help him out here, making life hard for Cutler. He's got 2 bullets left, and nothing will take him down. Well played though by Cutler to get the frag in the plant, as otherwise CLG wouldn't be able to pressure Cloud9 for quite some time.
Yeah, Cutler did as best he could. Forced the issue, or at least tried to, with Shroud. He really wants to get himself the 1 versus 1 with Shroud to leave himself in a 1 versus 1 with nothing. But obviously Shroud knew that as well, and just tried to bait, but back off and use the numbers to their advantage. First round for Cloud9. Again, I said that CLG, they showed some prowess on their CT side in the past. I don't know, though, if they have similar on their T side. One would imagine if you practice one half, you practice the other, though. So we'll see what they have in store. For now, we'll be waiting for the AKs to come out in the 3rd round. Next to nothing bought in this one for CLG. Hayes, P250, Sabrosa with the Deagle. Cutler with a flashbang. Wonder where that will end up. So Hayes in that lurking position towards B. In the meantime, Stewie2K getting popped. So that's a weapon to be collected, and that might force Cloud9 back.
Yeah, this is really nice because, as James mentioned, that they haven't really invested anything here. they are just thinking about getting some damage in. They don't because they don't really have grenades to really get onto a bomb site either. So you're looking to get funky situations to be able to use that deagle and get a pick off, and that's exactly what Sabrosa delivered now. So Cloud9, they shouldn't be sweating just yet, but it is getting a little bit worrying because if you lose 1 or 2 players and you have to rebuy, then you're going up against 5 AKs. That's a problem. That is a big problem. So there is a lot to be done here for CLG that could really improve their chances next round.
Yeah, I like how they've waited for the rotation and for these players through Monster. Now there's trouble for Cloud9. Shroud's going to have a lot of people coming his way. He's got nothing now, I think, on the high ground to help him out. Hayes getting picked off. Can the bomb go down? It can! Bonus for CLG. And now it's all about damage. At the very least, Color getting popped off, though. Doom. Nothing's got the high as well. Ups and downs. To get right, I'm sure he'll bounce back.
That was an amazing round. Not sure how well this is going to go for them. Shroud's close. He's going to spot 4 players though. Nothing commits as well. Gets himself 2. But still, the bomb site has now been opened up for business for the CLG side. But rotation is quick. However, Sabrosa will be dealing with that.
Going for the other frag as well. Puts it down to a 2 versus 2 once again. So a little close, but he's got the scout. He's up close with the scout. Can he find Deshaun's Hayes? Almost a headshot there, but he's not going to get much of anything. Nothing but air for Skadoodle. And he's in trouble. Ethan trying to close the distance, but he's going to go straight into the crosshair. It's Stewie2K covering his teammate's angle. And now it's Hayes, former in-game leader. Maybe he will lead again, but for now, he needs his lead his team into the first round. And Skadoodle left, he's still got the scout. He needs a headshot, otherwise it's GG. There we go, Hayes manages to clutch it. Skadoodle can't get anything done in that horrible situation for him.
They haven't really invested anything
CLG taking a nasty surprise.
Just thinking about getting some damage in. They don't because they don't really have
already
grenades
we're seeing
to really get onto a bomb site either. So you're looking for to get funky situations to be able to use that deagle just a couple rounds ago, and then exactly what last round able to get the 2 very fast entries to secure the bomb site in time, and that is very important. Being able to get the bomb down immediately is very impactful. And Cloud9, now they've been completely shaken. They've got nothing to say for themselves, just a few pistols, and that's about it. If CLG just show us now that they can also play very good anti-ecos with structure, with discipline, and that is something that we have seen from them a little bit recently, then there is a lot of trouble here for Cloud9, I think. And we're seeing a good anti-eco round. We're going to see most of the players going up long slowly, and hopefully they'll be rejoined by the two men on the outskirts soon enough.
Perhaps we're in for more upsets. Oh, well, speaking of upsets, good start for Automatic against CLG. This is, I think, one of the better maps for them in terms of just team coordination. And that's a big thing to get in the right box.
If you're in a situation where you don't have that trade fragger, you just don't want to push, you just want to wait for everybody. That's normally what you see teams do. You see them play it very passively, and they put men all over the place in very passive positions. And then when those players have had enough, everyone comes together. So you always have the trade fraggers. You focus on the map. Like there's a lot. Could have been a fast movement from CLG through connector now. They will arrive on the toilets with all of their numbers. This is a very fast push.
Everyone in the toilets, go, go, go. Stewie traded immediately. Now Skadoodle's got something better than a scout, but can he deliver with it? Missing the first shot, maybe he was still moving, not sure. Flashbangs come in, he knows where these teams are, going for it again. Hayes stuck, unable to escape that position. He'll get taken down. That is a huge fail from Sabrosa. I don't know how he did that. Ethan goes down as well. Problems for CLG post-plant. Bomb is getting planted. No, it isn't. Cutler taken down. All down to Sabrosa now against 3. Playing on the corner of the smoke. Skadoodle disappears. There's still a minute. He's got time to find these players. There's no pressure to plant just yet.
Sabrosa's been having a good day so far. It's getting even better. The 3rd kill comes out. And once again, plenty of time indeed for him to use. And he will get the bomb down straight away. Now, nothing is in a bit of a weird spot. Where is Sabrosa? It's about the mind games. The smoke goes down. How does Sabrosa want to play with that smoke? All these questions here. Playing on the edge. Sabrosa is very, very good at playing around smokes from what we've seen recently. Nothing there going for the tap of the bomb, but he does not have a kiss. Sabrosa with the quad kill, saving the round for CLG. He is definitely off to a good start here, James.
Yeah, that is huge stuff. And again, as CLG start to rack up rounds, because Cloud9 should be on an eco once more, you have to wonder again about the psyche, about, you know, we're up against elimination. We're in an elimination situation, actually. We have to win this, otherwise we're at the major as well. We're going to be joining NIP on the January bench. So maybe that will play a part. We'll have to keep a close eye on the faces of these Cloud9 players and what they tell us. For now, we have a player who's dropped from the server, and this should be a restarted round as no action has happened. Cloud9 have not had a good day, and that's something that might tilt them even more, because I think they had 5 disconnects in one match yesterday, and here's another one for them. So
yeah.
These things can all play a part.
It's really cool to see Sabrosa having such a good start. Sabrosa has 10 kills already, and if you consider that there was the pistol round was lost, they lost, of course, the follow-up second round. Then just 3 rounds in a row, big impact kills from Sabrosa. Just massive big impact plays. Very cool to see a player that I suppose talked about in a way where he got hyped up, then there was some controversy, and then he didn't really necessarily deliver what people expected on LAN. So you never know exactly what you're going to get, but you do know that he's got like quite pretty good mechanics, like a player like Shroud, as we're looking at right now. So it's hard to predict from a decision-making perspective what the impact will be. But here's so far in the first few rounds, he's given CLG a lot to work with.
He has indeed. Opportunity knocks. And again, from what I've seen of CLG on this map, the most interesting things have been on the CT side. They're starting on the T side, they're having a good T side, and again, we see similar storylines to what we saw in the game of Cash, that interesting game of Cash that we just witnessed. Ready to start once again, Cloud9 on the eco. 3 rounds in a row for CLG after 2 plants in the first 2 rounds. Started off with good utility, and here it will continue for the most part.
It's funny though, James, like this major qualifier, like, we've lost NIP, who else are we going to lose? It's starting to look like the Red Wedding or something like that. Like, all of the people that you're invested in from a storyline perspective are all just getting murdered brutally.
We expected a bloodbath, and a bloodbath we have been given. On the last day, the Sunday, last day of these major qualifiers. Slow start from CLG. You see the push from Nothing. Look at Hot Flash. Nothing has his own flash, so it will be hard for him to get a nice flash while he's in the tunnel. And he's managed to creep up to a forward position. There may be a vulnerable AK. Bear in mind, Hayes has got the bomb as well. His teammates being distracted elsewhere with Ethan lost. Good disposal of the weapon though by Cutler. But again, Hayes, I worry about the bomb because of Nothing's position. He's got a very, very passive angle. Cloud9 with 3 players towards long. They've disappeared after getting that pick. And again, CLG, they've got basically no map control, and there are 50 seconds on the clock. This is something we've seen from them time and time again. This is how they lose rounds, Dan. And I feel like they're going to lose this round just based on their position and the fact that there are 40 seconds left, and they have zero information towards B.
Yeah, their last anti-eco round was not executed well as well from a coordination perspective. It was saved in a desperate last push. Oh, he's checking it, not really clocking that the guy was actually there. But here comes the push now off the back of that. But Cloud9 have set up around this bomb site. They sort of planned for this to happen. Nice from Sabrosa, good vantage point. It only gets 1, but still, his teammates will be able to clean up the rest. And it's so far only been 2 frags from Cloud9. Can Automatic make it 3 kills, or even better, perhaps? So he turns the corner, but no, Cutler denies him. And 2 kills again. That's the same amount of kills, I believe, in the last anti-eco. I still feel like, as with this one, it could have been less damaging for CLG.
It's so nerve-wracking watch them play the clock down to the wire, because we've seen it so many times, Dan. We've seen it so many times. It's like they have a unicycle on a tightrope. But it's good for now. 4-2 is the current score. Skedoodle on the AWP once again. Having a look at the spawn, Skedoodle has quite the forward spawn, so he may go for an early pick towards the A site around the fountain area. You can see him, he's gonna, okay. Some AWPers would drop the smoke and then jump on the bench and look over the smoke. Although teams can be quite consistent with the flashbangs there, so he will start passive and just slow down any early approach from CLG.
Yeah, just holding sewers, which is good. Having some forward control of the map, as opposed to the last round, which was, of course, an anti-eco, but still. Sewers does give you something to work with, as well as the fact that sometimes when you hold this position, the CTs will try to retake it, and that gives you an opportunity for a frag, and that was a fragging opportunity as well. And if the fragging opportunity comes to you in that way from the CT aggression, then that carries less risk in a lot of respects, as opposed to you trying to go for the picks and just peeking by yourself with a flashbang. But nothing's really been given to CLG, and we've hit the minute mark now, so they themselves have to start creating some action and kind of pivoting off of their map control into a play.
Yeah, they seem comfortable with this timing, do CLG, but I feel like at some point it's going to go wrong. 5 versus 5 push into the B bomb site. Rotation has begun. We've got loads of Molotovs. One has been extinguished by the smoke, so there's room to play with. Waiting and now emerging, but the flashbangs come in. Not good enough though. CLG getting picked off one by one. 4 kills for the Cloud9 side. Not a single kill in this round for CLG. They played the clock and it did not work out for them. I don't know if they were offering a fake or just waiting for some counter grenades, but when they had the delay after throwing those grenades. So many though into the B bomb site. Cloud9 ready. Automatic with lovely angles around the smoke here. Shroud delivering as well. That's the round Cloud9 needed.
Yeah, I feel like it could have gone a lot worse for Cloud9 too, because one thing about Cloud9 in that round is Cloud9 actually gave up forward positioning towards toilets. So they had no, like they saw presence towards sewers, but because they had no idea of what's happening towards toilets and long, they couldn't know if it was a fake or not. So there was definitely opportunity in that sense for CLG. They're running up against 2 players, but they were unable to make it work. But still, the buy comes in, even though it's a bit meager. There is some bite to it. There's a couple AKs there and some grenades, some smokes to play with. Ooh, that was a very nice grenade.
Nice.
A lot of damage there onto Cutler. And this time CLG, they are going to go up a long.
No sniper, only 3 rifles. Stewie 2K spotting the long position. You see the shoulder peak there. He sees Hayes reasonably close and will just try to slow him down with a smoke. Flash from his teammate as well, and they back off into different positions. Going to keep CLG surprised. This is always a tight corner. Hayes goes down. No trade fragging available just yet. 3 kills for Cloud9. They are on the march, on the comeback, looking to try to score once again. Subrosa and Cutler. All that remains now is down to Subrosa. Again, can he get himself another 4 kills on the A bomb site? Bombs down as well. Pop flashes come in, and the CTs may go for a bit of a peek.
Subrosa added again. There's one for him. Who else will offer themselves up? Looking for the kill into Shroud, but Shroud is hidden. The tagging obviously does keep confirmation as to where he's standing. Oh man, that's already really weird engagement there. But it will eventually be Subrosa shut down by the Cloud9 side, and they will win a couple rounds back actually against what was looking like some momentum from CLG, but they've been broken now.
That was a bit awkward at the end there. Skadoodle jumping into a more aggressive position, but the player on the default plant spot doesn't join him in the double peak, essentially. So that could have become even worse. 4-4 now. CLG calling the tactical timeout. They've made more use of them than any team I've seen. Always good to use them when you have them. But again, we're not seeing much talking.
No, I mean, I was surprised that NIP didn't use more timeouts, actually. We saw maybe 1. I didn't know that there was more than 1. The 1 did come fairly early on, but it is surprising as well, when everything's going against you, not to see the timeouts called.
So 4 rounds on the board for the CLG. Good start on their T side, but now it's Cloud9's chance to get the lead they will feel like they should have in this particular matchup. CLG maybe going for a fast play towards B. 2 smokes and a flashbang. They could... I'm guessing they'll put one on the middle of the site to try and plant the bomb. The other one could go towards the water area, or...
Oh my god.
Could go close left of here to allow them to cross to the site. But then they'll be exposed to the barrel position where automatic is. So see what he's trying to do. They'll push before the smokes go down, and nothing's going to get an easy 4 kills. Automatic cleaning up the last one. There's the smoke in the middle of the site, but yeah, they just crossed before any of those smokes landed, and I mean it should be an easy round for Cloud9, and it was.
I think that was over 200 damage from that nade. That sucks. Nice. Maybe that's why they're like, well, the round's over now. We're just going to run in. It's all over now.
I think I heard some talk about a flashbang. Maybe it was the one from the previous round. Anyway, it's time to look forward for CLG. They're back on the buy. They've got the 5 AKs. They've got loads of utility in terms of smokes and flashes. And I know they have the capability to use them on this particular map. So we'll see if they can win one back. Again, you have that high explosive timing. Missing the mark. Cutler's just looking for entry. Oh, nothing, just takes it straight in the jaw. Trying to problems. Nice tap from him. Nice burst, but he needs a lot more than that. Cutler takes him down as well. Great start from CLG.
Yeah, very explosive. Cloud9 caught completely off guard indeed. It's really hard for them to work from this position because you can see Subrosa, he's able to take such a forward position. Even though he's firing off with his AK there and maybe Stewie knows where he is, Stewie still has such a big disadvantage because he has to open the door and then he still doesn't know which angle his opponent's going to be on. So it's so hard to go for the retake here.
He needs to push on a reload. When he hears the reload come in, that's when he needs to push. But what can the rest of his team do in the meantime? Automatically taken down. And there's Stewie with Subrosa on the rotation, but it's too late for Cloud9 to win the round. 2 players remain for Cloud9. It's important that Skadoodle stays alive with the AWP as well. But indeed, CLG win a round back. And again, they're using the conditioning that they've had in their T rounds. They've played them so slow. Last 30 seconds, last 20 seconds, minute 30, minute 40 on the clock, and Cutler's walking into the site for entries.
Yeah, you gotta love that. And it's something that you have to mix in every now and again, especially against teams that love to go for those boosts, because there are blind spots. There can often be blind spots that you can capitalize upon, and it's exactly what we saw there. Just easy frag for the taking. So 5-2-5, and this round becomes quite interesting just due to the fact that, I don't believe Cloud9, they don't really have much in the way of bank. CLG going for another fast sewers take here, but these Molotovs are always quite scary because you don't know if a pop flash is going to follow at some point. Not to be in this occasion though.
Just a small note that there was an Envy game that we commentated some days ago where those kind of grenades were missing on their CT side. They were taken by surprise. Automatic taken by surprise by the flashbang, but there are frags all over the place, and they're mostly here for Cloud9. 10 seconds and Hayes is the only man wondering what has happened to his team. They've gone into the Gatling gun. Tons of flashbangs coming out. 4 versus 1. The bomb down in the middle of the site. They can leave one person if they want to watch a flank, and the rest can just focus. All these angles. 3 spots him, Shroud's there as well, but it's Skadoodle to get the last kill. A headshot, no less.
I kind of love the idea of this play. I mean, they just go through the smoke, and I feel like a lot of the time that probably works because people don't expect that at such an early timing, and with an entire team with a pop flash as well. It's kind of, you don't often ever see that. So nice reaction from Cloud9 to just handily deal with that.
Maybe they took heed to the warning from the previous rounds. That CLG one where they were taken by surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a similar play in some respects.
Deagles for the CLG team, apart from Hayes, who has 2 flashbangs instead. Ethan and Subrosa with some armor. Again, if you're just joining us, the loser of this game will be eliminated. They will be sent to the airport immediately. They'll be escorted out by security. They'll have no time to pick up their equipment. They will be gone. 5 rounds on the board so far for CLG. Cloud9 looking to extend the lead.
I think so. And Subrosa's back at it again. Still damage to be required to hold, and that's the bomb down. That's Subrosa's attempt at catching someone on B down as well. 7-5, and Cloud9 resting slightly easier compared to the first 5 rounds or so, or 6 rounds, when things were going very, very wrong for them.
Yeah. CLG just needs to keep their heads in the game. Well, they're spending a fair amount of money in this round, actually. So let's see what they can do with it, what their aim is. Maybe their aim is to maim these CT players, keep that money low. You know what can happen if one side is able to string rounds together and build tons of cash. So CLG will look to relieve Cloud9 of their cash. Charging through, connects, and nobody caught, but Automatic's in a lot of trouble here. Kustar saving Hayes' bacon, perhaps, because he was quite tagged. And they force the rest of Cloud9 to back off, which means they'll have little info. To their favour, they will have the fast rotations between sites, or relatively fast, but there we go. An AK picked up onto Subrosa, and he's the only man with Kevlar in this round. Minute 10 to play with. Cloud9 at the mercy of CLG's will.
Starting to creep in towards that B-bomb site now. Cloud9, patience. Very, very patient. There's not much in the way of grenades here to help CLG. There's 2 flashbangs. And it really does remain to be seen whether they're going to be placed perfectly or not. But the angle from Shroud is good. Finds himself 2, and that's the bomb down by Monster as well. And also, a big indicator as to what the T's are trying to do. Rotation doesn't come in just yet, but this should be solid here for Cloud9.
Clock is ticking. How much damage can Cutler do in this situation? There he goes, there goes the AK, and that's Kusta facing a double peek with a P250. Nothing dependable on the B bomb site. 3-round lead now for Cloud9, but it's time for the buy from CLG. Kusta on the AWP. If I remember correctly, he is now the undisputed AWPer on the CLG side. Although Cutler will pick up the second one when required.
It is fashionable to be an AWPer in-game leader these days. It's fashionable, James.
Well, Carrickman was doing it last year before the cool kids. 2 rounds in this first half are what remains. Ooh, Stewie spotting some movement there from a number of players. So at least got some info for his team, if not a kill. And again, they'll choose to back up, maybe looking to reposition towards long. They know there are players there. They'll stay around the toilets for now. Slow start from CLG. Hayes lurking towards B, the usual position that we see from T's if they don't choose to go fast towards short B. And again, Cloud9 semi-passively. Skadoodle's a little more forward with York, but beyond that, they are pretty much playing the sites. It will still take time though for CLG to move through the bogs.
It's taking quite some time. And Cloud9 haven't really opted to play too aggressively as well. CLG finally starts to move, but the problem is as well, there's 50 seconds left, and no one's picked up the bomb. You would imagine that'd be Hayes, though, as the play does look like it's coming in towards A, and he's the furthest out at the moment, and indeed, he will go and grab that bomb, and his teammates will clean the toilets up. There's 4 of them in the vicinity now, and there is a setup from Skadoodle and Stewie that is pretty close here. Will they fall back? Will they hold this? Stewie holding it down by the bin. And Skadoodle picks up a kill as well as they start to aggress. But there's 20 seconds left, and things are starting to go wrong here. They need to get the plant down in the next 15 seconds.
Yeah, it's time for a desperation play. Skadoodle spotted, jumping in the corner. 13 seconds now for that bomb to go down. There's Molotovs everywhere, and there are no nades, there's no smokes for CLG to stop this, to go for this plant. It's a risky play from Hayes. Will they find the angle on him? Nothing. Automatic remain as the fight comes in. He gets a hero plant in. There's 2 players left for the TTs. Nothing goes down, leaving Automatic alone. Almost in a crossfire. Gets 1 versus 1 onto Kusta though. Bomb still in the smoke. Here comes the pop flash. Cutler won't see it. Now, Automatic's down to 7 HP. He's got a kit, but there are no more nades for either of these players. Unless Automatic can get a double dink onto Cutler. This is the round for CLG, and indeed it is. Cutler holding things down in the second last round of the first half, picking up the AWP as well.
That was a bit crazy. Yeah. Again, comes down to 15 seconds to get the bomb down. Always makes me very, very worried. And but CLG managed to make it happen in the end. So 6 rounds to the 8 to Cloud9, and a real chance to get a 7th here, leading into, or rather finishing the first half. With that would be nice for them, I think.
CLG T sides are not for the faint of heart, as far as their bomb planting shenanigans go. Skadoodle looking for an entry, and Cutler will give it to him. So you see smokes being deployed, but again, it's Cloud9 with the early advantage. Maybe there's a weapon for Subrosa to collect, but it will be quite the rotation for him to do that. And he has a job to do in terms of holding connector. Hayes is more forward now towards B. So if he chooses to move through the tunnel to short B, Subrosa can help him emerging through the door. I think there are 3 players on B for Cloud9 at the moment. Bomb collected by CLG. So I think Subrosa is off to pick up Cutler's weapon now.
So once again, a slow approach. And Cloud9 did show some aggression early on, but then they fell all the way back on their advantage, which is, you know, pretty normal, I would say. A lot of CT sides like to do that. Thinking that we've done enough now, we can just chill out a little bit. That is all the advantage we need, and we're happy to allow you to now run a set piece onto a bomb site. But speaking of which, there's no smoke grenades now on CLG. So they are in trouble from that perspective. They have to just get the frags in these open scenarios. And once again, James, they've left it with only 25 seconds.
They're going for a fake with a flash and a Molotov, and the flash has been deployed, so has the molly, or has been lost onto Ethan. 20 seconds now, and they need to get that bomb down. Skadoodle is roaming. He's got security for support. Subrose are not expecting it now. The bomb's on the floor, and these are the problems we've seen time and time again. There's an error, you've got no time to fix it, and everything falls apart. Two-man spray down for Hayes, but it's all for show at this point. The round goes to Cloud9, and so does the half by 3 rounds.
So CLG, they've ended their T round run with 6, and or T half run with 6 rounds, and it's not too horrendous, as you said. You know, 5 or 6, not too horrendous considering that their CT side is where we will see probably a greater proficiency from them. In Cloud9, they kept things really simple, actually, overall against CLG. Generally a passive style. They didn't really take many risks. They were very confident that they could just play those basics and just do it better than their opponents.
See Nothing with 18 kills. He's been great on the B bomb site. And while CLG might be more proficient on their CT side, how are they going to stop the likes of Nothing? I mean, Subrose has got a lot of kills around smoke grenades, but that might not be enough for CLG to stop Cloud9 once their AKs come out. I would say Cloud9 have the stronger aimers on their side, and that's going to be a big problem for CLG, whether they have tactics or not.
I like this aggression towards A from CLG on the pistol round. They will hear the running towards the B-bomb site and realize, and that's the kind of oh crap moment when they know that the B-bomb site will be taken, the bomb will be planted, and there's no frags here. And it's Cloud9 playing from great positions here. Stewie gets himself 2, and Nothing's in a great position to support him, and all of a sudden, pretty much everyone's dead. CLG get caught completely.
That was a very spammy round in terms of pistol shots. That was spam. Show me the spam. Yeah, we saw Nothing. He dropped the quick smoke onto the middle of the site. You stand by the barrel and aim at the top of the checkered spire, and away your smoke goes. Nothing but kills though. Ultimately, CLG on the back foot. Is Cloud9 likely to have double the score of their CTs once the buy comes in for the CT side? That's going to be quite problematic. Skadoodle just with the Tech 9 for now, looking for the AWP later on. Skadoodle, the resident beatboxer on Cloud9 when Nothing wants to rap. CLG with their pistols going to stack the sights for the most part. Hayes in a forward position with the Deagle, but he has the ability to retreat should he be peeked from the party area. You can still boost people on the balloons.
So Cloud9 start to run their anti-eco, and it already looks better than CLG's one, which was a little bit disjointed after the initial passive opening. But Cloud9, they've coordinated well. They've got everybody up A long. They have the ability to trade frag. The only guy who is towards the toilet side who can't trade frag is Nothing, but he's got a UMP, so it's not the end of the world. Usually teams run a Mac 10 there, but let's see how it goes.
Wow,
Put the execution into the site now, and indeed, to hold all the flames.
Anti-eco strategy, anti-eco execute from Cloud9. That is somewhat glorious, to say the least. Lovely stuff in the... Ooh, ding dong. Still alive, however. Subrose will be the last man standing, and maybe the last one to fall. He may be subject to the bomb explosion, even if he's not killed from this range. I'm sure he'll want to get something out of this Deagle. But everyone is backing off. Oh, there's something. But again, it's a very long journey if he is not to get killed by the bomb now. 11-6 will soon be the score, and there's one more eco to come for CLG.
All right, let's see how this goes then. So Cloud9, they've done a great job here, as you say. You know, it's pretty cool that Subrose gets a pick right at the end, but otherwise that was a clean round. And to CLG, they still can't really offer much in this round. So if we get to see, like, even if Cloud9 run the same round, and even if CLG decide to try to stack towards A long and so on, or stack the A bomb site, it doesn't matter too much because all the Molotovs are there to deal with all of those awkward positions, and you have the trade fragging, and you've got better weapons, open spaces to get multiple teammates facing at once. It's hard to stop that. But Cloud9 will mix things up a little bit. Stewie's going really aggressive here with the Mag-10 in the Suez position. He's trying to bait them, and it's actually working a little bit. He might be able to get a couple kills here, very cheekily.
See that support coming in from Shroud as well in the connector area, should it be required. So smart stuff from Stewie, backs off, so he doesn't get overwhelmed, and he has a teammate for support should it be required. Not required though. 3 left, 1 by the barrels. Again, Kusta playing the off angle, so he's not spotted from short. Always good. For those of you at home, don't stand deep into the corner where you can get picked off, but play in the blind spot. Maybe you'll win a round for your team. 2 ecoing CTs in the B bomb site. Hey, Cutler's admiring the scenery towards A for now. Cloud9 not going to go crazy with their 2-man advantage. That's a wise decision. They have the time to play with, so there's no need to take any risks. Stewie is expendable with this Mag-10. Doesn't mean he has to die though. Another kill for him, and he will make his exit.
Yeah, he's done really good stuff actually with those 3 kills, and it's quite surprising he's alive still. Oh dear, Automatic getting completely devastated by that deagle there of Cutler. He's going to steal away Galil too. I wonder if he'll be able to get off scot-free though. I don't know if... I'm curious to see whether or not Cloud9 care about the Galil in Cutler's hands. Because Cutler can play some really good angles, some really good off angles that would make it quite difficult to get the frag. So it could be that they will just leave him. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're too interested at the moment. Just holding down the bomb. Nothing with the UMP frag there. Get some bonus cash for him as well. So again, it was a slow round, but Cloud9 just played 2 anti-ecos, which were much superior to CLG's anti-ecos.
Yeah, they were good. So here we go. Cloud9 with double the score of CLG. CLG have opted for a timeout. Well, time's timeout. It's time for their buy, their big buy. This is crunch time. If they lose this buy, then they may feel almost defeated already, because beyond the buy comes an eco round, and then Cloud9 may be too close to 16 rounds. See the admin in the burgundy behind CLG. He's also a keyboard enthusiast. My keycap bro in the faced offices. Well then, CLG, what do you have to offer us? Kusta is on the AWP. His spawn isn't a great one, so it would not be wise for him to go for an early pick towards the fountain area. He's heading towards B for the time being, as are 3 Cloud9 players. So we might see a fast play in towards short B, unless there's a pop flash. It could be a nasty surprise, but Kusta picks too late. He gets his bell rung by the UMP.
Yeah, dink down already. That sucks for him.
Nothing's in Bardolph Molotov territory. That ridge on the pillar is great to bounce grenades off. Just throw a flashbang from Ethan's position and a Molotov off the wall, and they're blind and they're on fire, and then they should surely die.
Not to be though. Not to be. Yeah, one day indeed. Make like 5 videos on it. Just spam the videos, then maybe someone will pick it up and do it as tributes. But for now, Cloud9, they are just playing again, just pretty slow. And because CLG again have given up map control towards A, they really don't know 100% what is going on just yet. The push comes in. Nothing will go down straight away to Ethan, but he's going to get sandwiched between loads of Cloud9 players. Trades on this B bomb site, but the bomb still needs to be planted. These smokes might allow that, but Hayes is going to go for the play above the smoke. He's going to hear the plant. He's going to try to run over the top, find the frag, gets it. Seen this play happen so many times. It's usually very successful. He had no health when he made that play, but still it works because of the smokes. Kind of a double-edged sword, as it were, those smokes. And now the bomb is down. It's a 2 versus 3. How do you get back in this one?
Bought a lot of time for his teammates as well. Kusta in position now. Short play could get picked off, but it's Cutler to steal both frags. CLG win their buy. It's such an important round for them. 2 players surviving, AWP in tow. We'll see what they can muster around the other players. And in the meantime, Cloud9's money's in a weird place. 2 players though have 8k, so they're going to go in for the buy. They know they still have an opportunity to break the CT economy, and they've got tons of cash actually. This is a full buy from Cloud9, so no issue there apart from the lack of helmet onto Skadoodle.
So what are they going to go for? They've gone for a lot of Suez openings in previous rounds. Going to see this time a bit of a difference perhaps. maybe A long is the area of choice. Ooh, Kusta gonna be flash. He's gonna miss that shot, but he will detect the presence. This has not caused anyone else to really stir too much. Everyone is holding positions for CLG. It's early days in the round. Only 20 seconds really have passed. And Cloud9, they're just going to try to walk all the way up. This is brave stuff, but I like it.
Nasty surprises in tow. Here comes the pop flash. Kusta has no idea at all. Cutler somehow trades, but blind. Taken down again immediately. Cloud9 now can swarm. They can overwhelm. They smelled weakness from CLG. Can CLG even go for the retake? Now these smokes are down. It could be suicide.
Really hard to retake this bomb site, to be honest. Especially considering how much time Cloud9 have had to just run around, get perfect positions. Oh dear, and also of course Sabrosa is going to be tagged by the Molotov, which does give some sound cues to the T's, and you can see that CLG know that it's over in this round. There's just nothing that they can do realistically, so they're going to fall back and away. And Cloud9 eventually are going to get wind of this, and I would imagine that they'd want to try to invest at least a player in getting one of these kills, because 3 players saving that's actually kind of a lot. And here it is, nothing's going to go for it. He will be the man. He will be the man. But is he going to be able to get something here? Looks like he won't. He's not going to commit all the way, so that's fine. I can respect that.
CLG, they saved 3 weapons in that round, so there's opportunity to be had, but it might mess their money up somewhat for the rounds to come. So will they buy? That is the question. Timeout from CLG. Only 1 timeout remaining for the chaps in blue. Envy call themselves the boys in blue, so I'll call CLG the chaps in blue.
I feel like that should be reserved for a British team, but that said, because chaps to me feels like a very British thing to say, but at the same time, the UK scene more or less does not exist, so that's fine.
It does exist, Dan.
Does it? Does it though, James?
It does exist.
Does it really?
I've been to LAN. It does exist. It may not exist at this level of Counter-Strike, but this definitely does exist. You are the kind of toxic person, Dan, that we don't need in our scene.
I'm not toxic, I just understand realities.
Hashtag Dan is toxic. That's not really toxic. 6-round lead for Cloud9, and you see the shortcomings in the equipment for CLG. Life is not easy on the defense versus the Cloud9 with this kind of prowess on the side. Automatic is Stewie taking some early damage, but again, they're charging in. Shock and awe. Stewie, though, first one to go down. More flashbangs coming in. Now the CTs are fighting back. They will not allow this bomb site to be taken by Cloud9. Flashes 4 days, spraying towards the tunnel. Ethan repositioning as well for that reload. He's got loads of support, and there might not be much for Cloud9 to do. They've lost a bomb as well, and they have been forced to retreat.
Yeah, they before they lost the bomb, there was a lot of opportunities to actually double back, but really try to commit there. Oh man, that's a nice catch from Skadoodle. A really nice catch. Pixel perfect. Edging forwards now. The remaining players of CLG don't really have anything better than CZs. I mean, there is the MP7 there, but still, bomb has been collected now. But CLG has set up somewhat of a perimeter around sewers, but it does not extend through T-spawn. And the problem is that there is time to go for that rotation. Will Cloud9 do it? That's another story entirely. It seems like they want to go for it. But the question will always be there for CLG. Are they going to go for it, or will they just try to kind of bluff us here and actually just wait towards the B side of the map and then go B later on at the same timing? That's the question. It forces CLG to spread out. We can see Cutler's moved very quickly into toilets, very quickly indeed. It seems like he may have the read here.
He should hear Skadoodle from that position. It was a good play from Cloud9 to go towards long, because they wouldn't have been heard from Graffiti on B, but Cutler, he put himself in the right spot. Lovely, patient taps there. He's peppering them like a steak, and they will be consumed chunk by chunk. CLG with a surprising round. Cloud9, though, they still have a buffer. They have quite the cushion. The cushion is filled with goose down, Dan. It's a comfortable cushion.
So what do they select now? Again, that was the round where it's really interesting. It's always interesting how teams decide to commit into certain spots, because there are options at some points where you can cut your losses and you can abort. But sometimes there are some teams that are just not comfortable with doing that. Some teams are better at it than others. And if you can't get past that first choke point on the tunnel without losing 2 players already, you're often going to have a really bad time.
Just a reminder, the team that loses this match is jettisoned into the sun.
Yeah, no big deal. You're just not going to qualify for the major. No big deal. It's a massive deal, James. It's a massive deal.
It's a huge deal.
It's a huge deal.
CLG with a tight stack around the toilet area. They're committing 3 players to that, and they're playing passively on B, retake potential. Sabrosa and Ethan with a crossfire around the graffiti area. Cloud9 trying to identify what kind of setup CLG might have. Got to be hard with the smokes though. That said, Hayes gets taken down. Still a minute for Cloud9 to play with. What is the response? Cutler's still in a forward position. Maybe he just spotted the shoulder of Shroud. Got to be careful though. Will it be traded? Oh, just about! Continuation spray, not good enough though. Stewie keeps the man advantage.
40 seconds to go. What do they do with it? They've got nothing. He could cause some ruckus towards B, and that's what he's going to do. Ruckus has been achieved. Nothing will deliver, said Ruckus, and that is potentially a B-bomb site that's open. CLG they just don't know whether Cloud9 will commit there or not just yet. It's too hard to tell. Could be that nothing's just going to rotate through CT spawn. That's you know, as far as they're concerned. They will leave automatic there to keep the information a bit obscure for the CLG side. However, eventually they will find their way onto that bomb site and the bomb will go down. So Cloud9 in very good stead to win this round. It's going to take something pretty impressive from Ethan here to save this, I think.
Ethan will hear the sounds though of players jumping underneath the balcony. Not sure how much he would have seen of that trajectory, but it's down to Kusa to try and get a pick on the high ground, try and run distraction while Ethan makes his presence known. Very awkward angles though. There's Stewie. Tradefragger can't get any kill onto Ethan, but Kusa's gone down, and now CLG are about to lose everything. AWP gone, there goes Ethan as well. Cloud9 back to winning ways, very close to 16 rounds.
Yeah, it's seeming like it's somewhat smooth sailing here for Cloud9 at this point. They got to a spot where they got a comfortable lead. Their economy's not in the best place ever, but this round is going to be a round where they should at least be able to get a bomb down at the very least, and they should honestly be winning the rounds probably like 80% of the time anyway. So
for those of you old people from the UK, this is like on the Bullseye show when they say, "I'm going to gamble, Jim." CLG have gone all in with this buy. They're not going to play against match point. They're shoving it all across the line now. As Rampage Jackson says, always bet on black. But who's got the black, Dan? It's CLG or Cloud9.
It's hard to know. It is hard to know. And right now it's also hard to know if Stewie's going to be successful in this position, looking for the entry frag. He's also got Nothing, who's on the other side of Monster Tunnel, who could also maybe catch aggression. And Sabrosa has been tagged by Nothing, so some early damage done there. On the other side of the map, you've got Kusta, who is playing close to long, and he's you can see he's like facing the boulder there, just in case as well. You know, flashes come around the corner. I don't think his teammate, Cutler, who is supporting him with the scout, does not have a flash for him, so he cannot be flash forwards, which is unfortunate.
I really like the smoke Nothing dropped, but maybe we'll get time to discuss that later. Cutler's been taken down. Kusta somehow in no man's land, winning a duel versus an AK with the lowly CZ. Stewie looking to do more damage towards B bomb site. Spotting one player, looking for the trade fragger immediately. He's like, where's the other guy? There must be another guy here. So Brozek taken down in the meantime. There's Ethan, and that's a clean B bomb site. 2 players left to stop Cloud9 making it to match points.
Yeah, I think automatic, fluffed his spray a little bit there, but it's okay, it happens. His teammates have managed to take the B bomb site, and everything will be fine from this point forwards. It is definitely in the interest of Cloud9 to try to eliminate these weapons, because obviously it's a point now where CLG buy every single round, and even though the economy kind of sucks for Cloud9, being able to save 2 guns versus saving just 1 is kind of a big difference. So we'll see, whether or not they find them. I don't think they will at this point. It looks like they're more interested in just keeping all of their stuff alive, which is perfectly fine as well. It's not as if CLG are going to have a better situation on the weapons next round regardless. So, man, their money is going to just look at how appalling that is. That's appalling.
That money sucks. They sold the house, sold the cats, sold the family to buy what they can in this round. CLG have taken their final timeout, which was of interest to me. I thought they would have used this before the previous round, because this round they have no choice, but I suppose they can talk about what play they want to make, and maybe that's spawn dependent as well. Hazed with the M4, Cutler with FAMAS, 3 CZs in tow for the remainder of CLG. Going back to what I was saying about nothing in the previous round, he was to the right of Monster on the T side, and he threw a smoke over the top, which left a gap at the front of the tunnel, but basically takes a lot of angles away for the CT side and makes it very awkward, makes it before, but it was an interesting one.
Cutler will use them for a nasty off angle, but would you look at that?
Look at that.
That's a fantastic peek into that position, just immediately deploying a crossfire. Fair enough.
The sound of birds will not comfort the remainder of CLG. They are in a very tough spot. Nothing with a super passive angle towards B, just waiting for his teammates to keep putting in work towards A. You can see him start to move now. Kusta, he's all out there on his lonesome. The other 2 players towards B, they've got to rotate. He needs help, and he needs help badly. Automatic though, shoot him straight in the face. No kills for Kusta in that round. 2 CZs versus the might of a full Cloud9 team with lots of utility.
And all the guns, they begin to go for the march into the A bomb site. So Bros at the moment is in jungle, I believe, just trying to get himself a rotation. But that leaves Ethan more or less alone against 5 players. Now smoked off the bomb site, of course. Well, it's like, what do you do? What do you do in CLG's position here? Cloud9 will plant on the truck position. Optimus Prime. And the smokes, they don't end.
I think it was Ethan who tweeted earlier and said it's literally do or die for CLG in this match. What that means, maybe time will tell, because it doesn't look likely for them to succeed in this position, and it is Ethan, the last man standing, with 1 consolation kill, but it's Cloud9 who survives. 16-8 double score of CLG, and they've got 1 more match to play to qualify for the major.
Much more comfortable Cloud9 here today. Indeed, the first half was a little bit rocky from time to time. We saw some moments of brilliance from CLG, actually. Although they did have worse anti-ecos, they generally did look not as good as Cloud9, which is what you should expect to see. So after the NIP upset that we just had, we just had a match which was much more to our expectations.
Well, maybe that massage did nothing some good. He was at top of the kills for his team. Thoughts of the desk on that match after the break.
Yes, so welcome back. It was easy in the end for Cloud9. CLG eliminated from the major qualifier. and Cloud9 keep their dreams alive. Still a long road to go, though. We don't know who they're going to play. We'll get into that much later. But first, we're just going to break down that game. And guys, honestly, again, I'm still failing to really understand what CLG are about. Yes, we did see that game against Renegades where they had that tremendous comeback, but I always kind of felt that was a gimme, that Renegades completely collapsed, and they just didn't impress me here.
Yeah, I mean, that Renegades game, I mean, there's obviously a combination of Renegades really collapsing and CLG starting to pick up steam in that game. But here, I mean, for me, CLG in this event, this is kind of a way for them to look at what they have and see what they want to keep moving forward. To me, I mean, they have these 3 young stars. They bring Ethan, they bring Sabrosa, and they've given them some tests. They see how they develop. Hasn't gone as quick as, you know, other of the younger stars we've seen in NA rise up, but still, CLG can go forward. I think a couple good things they can at least take away from this loss in this event. It was good to see Cutler have a good game here because he's been one of the players who's been, you know, missing from this team for a while. Used to be one of the players that you could rely on, like one of the best supports players in NA, and he's dropped off, but he's back now. At least for this game, I thought Sabrosa has had a good event overall. So I mean, those are 2 things they can take and look forward.
But here's the problem, right? Real talk, yeah?
Yeah.
They have their good games. When have they ever strung good games together individually?
No, you're exactly right, and they haven't. And that's the big thing as well, because then you also look at the other 2 stars that they need to learn to rely on. That's Kusta and Ethan. Both of them had very subpar game. I think moving forward, this team needs to find some way to have some leadership, and that's not even speaking of tactics. It's not even speaking of strategy. But they don't seem to have, you know, that voice in this team that can really get them on track at the moment.
So Duncan, this is where you come in with the people's elbow.
Yeah, I mean, the problem I see for CLG in this game is it wasn't just an unconvincing game, but Cloud9's there for the taking. I mean, Cloud9, they're at the lowest ebb, you know. They've already had an upset against them earlier in this tournament. If you add anything on CLG, now's your time to kind of strike, you know. You still might not make it out the qualifier, but hey, take down the best team in NA, the number 1 team, at least for the last few months. And they weren't able to do it, and in fact, it just was not very convincing at all. Add this into the Vegas Squadron loss. I feel like this is kind of a non-factor, CLG, in this tournament.
Yeah, and I never thought they were going to do particularly much. But again, I was very interested in watching, you know, like the development of Ethan and these other young players that are being talked up. But, you know, and I want to see a resurgent Kusta because, you know, eventually it's got to click, right? Like, but it
does it though?
Yeah, exactly. But does it though? That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the bummer is Ethan not having a good game here right at the end. I actually thought because he played well individually at some of the other tournaments they've been to, like the Northern Arenas that they went to in Toronto and Montreal. Here, I didn't really see this event. I didn't really see too much of him, which is a bit of a bummer. Kusta, yeah, I mean, I know I've been high on Kusta, and I still think he has the talents.
Kusta, not even one.
Not even one.
No, but when you look at, you have to be a little bit of a bummer in terms of his career when you look how it's gone. Like Simple just kind of broke him and took away the AWP and all the different things he's had to go through, the role changes. So he'll get there eventually.
All right, thanks for that, Moses. So this is your brain on Kusta anyway. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have Mousesports versus Immortals. One of these teams will be qualifying for the major. Make sure you join in. welcome back. You can see there Nico. He was, for a brief period of time, the best player in the world. These days, that isn't the story, and Mouse Sports have indeed been struggling, but they're in with a chance of getting to the major if they can win this game. Roster.
Yeah, I mean, these obviously the new guy, Lowell, the Spanish player, had some decent form in this team, actually. That's why his fellow Spaniard Mixwell actually commented one day he'd like to play with him. Chris J's been kind of the guy who actually has been carrying them the last few months, and I actually feel like his AWP's been very, very significant to them. Interesting enough, they actually had 3 AWPers in the team now, because Lowell AWPs and Nico AWPs. In fact, you've seen a lot more AWPing, it feels like, of Nico over the last few months, trying to mix something up, because he hasn't been as amazing as he has been E-League Season 1, etc. And he has been pretty decent at this qualifier, but not the Nico who really was challenging to be the best player in the world. Beyond that, Spiddy and Dennis, I mean, they've always had their problems, they've always had their ups and downs, and really, they still haven't found a place within the team, but yet somehow they continue to occupy one.
That is absolutely true. Meanwhile, over at Immortals, they've changed their in-game leader, so what's going on with them?
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that's actually, the other way. They're actually playing very, very well right now, on the verge of qualifying for their first major, which they struggled this year. They failed in the first 2. So that's brilliant to see. And yeah, I mean, even their in-game leader, Steel, who's come in, has actually put in some good individual performances. But at the moment, it seems like Bolts is the one they can really rely on. He's kind of the rock of this team that they can lean on, and they know they're going to get that good performance out of him. And when they're at their best, when they're truly at their best, they have Henny hitting some good shots. He doesn't have to be crazy, but it's Phelps that they need pushing forward. They need him to have a very high impact in these games to beat the tier 1 teams, and more often than not he does. They got stumped a little bit yesterday on Mirage against FaZe, but outside of that, they've been rolling pretty well in this tournament.
All right, well, let's see how this map veto is going to go. This is going to be a big one, Duncan.
Yeah, because especially if you're the guys from Immortals, you'd love it if Mouse Sports leaves Cobblestone in here. Surely they can't, they don't. They take it right out because it's so dangerous. I actually want to see what happens with Nuke at this point in time, because I feel like someone's going to have to ban it. And if Immortals want to, they could wait and they could just leave it as that 3rd map. And I think Mouse will ban it if that's the case. Train's been pretty decent recently. It's actually kind of weird that Immortals themselves would ban Overpass, but that's actually been one of the better Mouse Sports bans. I feel like it has to be Nuke here. That's what they've successfully forced them on Nuke, and it's ended up on Cash, which, by the way, these last 2 maps, good maps for both teams.
Yep.
This map, the old Mouse Sports would be loving it, but actually I feel like Immortals themselves kind of like some Cash.
So predictions from you, Duncan?
Yeah, this is a tough one actually because of the map, but I am going to say Immortals is going to take this.
So Immortals have Bolts. Have you got Nuts? Who are you going to predict?
I got Nuts. I'm taking Immortals.
There it is, right. With all of that said and done, we're now going to hand you back over to our casters. It's James and DDK.
Cheers, lads. Again, I think it's 50-50. I find it hard at the moment to put Immortals as a heavy favourite versus a lot of teams. That said, I don't put Mouse Sports as a strong favourite either. I really feel like either team could take this, and that should make it exciting.
Yeah, I'm with you in there as well, just because this is one of the matchups, I think one of the only matchups so far that I really feel like I just cannot predict how it's going to go. I think I'm leaning slightly towards Mouse Sports, but it's so hard to say, which is good. As you say, we'll let the action do the talking for us in that sense, and Immortals will be with 2 grenade men, which is awesome to see, and that's a quick push hit there from Nico. He's going to spot everything, and this is a big problem because now Mouse Sports are already going to be going for the rotation, the boost around the back here. However, the bomb looks like it's sure. No, the bomb's gone down in the smoke. That could be really awkward, but Phelps will collect it.
Henny with a nasty surprise there for Dennis. Gets the range now with the USP as well. 2 flashes onto Steel. Nico, he sees a gun and he finds a face. That's enough for him. All of a sudden, Henny's on his own. You hear the screams from Mouse Sports. They were supercharged before the match started, and it continues with a lovely retake of the A bomb sites.
Yeah, and it all really started from, I think it was Nico actually, who pushed, it didn't even really push, he just shouldered into A main and he saw like 3 or 4 guys, and so that was just that early warning system that allowed Mouse Sports to have a lot of additional time before Immortals could get the bomb down, could get set up, and even then, the bomb going down, it's like, then everything's cool, the Immortals guys can just, take some post-bomb positions, but it went down, so they couldn't do that too quickly.
I think I made a mistake actually when I was talking about a tweet in the previous match. I think it was Dennis on Mouse Sports who said it was literally do or die. Maybe ELEAGUE can find that tweet and show me if I'm correct or not. But yeah, it seems that Mouse Sports might be feeling the pressure in this match. Good start for them though. Both these teams are 2-1, so there will be no elimination in this, but one will go 2-2. Chris J with, he got 2 for 1! Speaking of 2 for 1. That's a great way to have start an anti-eco round. Lucas and Bolts remain. Now it's their turn to pick up the Scout. The Scout, that made Chris J famous in the first place. Could it be the enemy? Now, maybe not. Lucas doesn't look good for this. Triple P comes in almost. Mouse Sports prevail again.
And see ya. Very, very sexy stuff.
Nice.
From Chris J straight away.
Sexy football, roulette, etc. So there's a tweet from Lowell, and there is Lowell. Nice, look at that coordination from production. That's awesome.
They only need one victory, indeed. If you skip the analyst segments just because you don't like listening to the analyst guys and you just look at the games, then indeed this is a match which will have the winner qualifying to play as a challenger team in the next major in January of 2017. Now, all AKs for Immortals. Couple grenades. They're going to go straight for the A play, but Nico, with his just so typical, quintessential door play, is just foiling this plan.
Yeah, this has shut down so far for Immortals. Phelps in a strong position, but Spiddy's waiting for this. He's looking for it, and Phelps may look the wrong way. He may get taken out for free. Indeed, he will. MP7 no less. Bonus money also for Spiddy. Immortals, 2 players left. They don't have the bomb. Chris J's in the back. And their time is limited.
And that's enough there for Chris J just to hold down the back.
Or is it?
Because they can't really get into the bomb site. The bomb, I mean, they have to go get the bomb. It's so open, there's no grenades for them. They have no health. So as long as Chris J doesn't push and die, they have no escape. There's just nothing for them to do. A smoke comes in to make it even more impossible to collect the bomb. So again, they can just... The ideal thing here is just for Chris J to wait out there and just allow Immortals, if they want to wait, allow them to wait and kill them after time. But Immortals will want to avoid that situation, so eventually they're just going to have to move. And it should be easy for Mousesports to clean this up.
I think there might have been an opportunity for him to get that bomb in the smoke, actually. Maybe it would have exposed them. Headshot comes in from Lucas with all of 5 HP. He needs to be perfect. Stereo frags, though, coming in from Mousesports to finally clean up the end of that round. Look good for ages. Immortals, though, he got 2 kills out of nowhere. Chris J, he made his way into main, but he couldn't see the player boosted. Had no idea where he was getting shot from. Just chose to back off, play it safe. Still became dangerous, but ultimately, it's Mousesports with the clean sheet.
It's definitely a good start for them. And I've always felt like Mousesports are one of the teams that how they look when they have a bad economy is just kind of out of proportion as to how they look when they have a good start. Like, I feel like they're not as good as some teams at managing their economy when they're in spots where they have to make marginal buys and all this kind of stuff and they get off to a bad start. So it's always very nice to see Mousesports with a good start for them, and I'm sure for their fans as well. But Immortals can never count them out in any situation. There's so much skill on this team. And maybe they can get a couple of frags here with the Deagles. They've got 2 Deagles, Tech 9. No grenades, but if they spot ahead here, perhaps there can be a frag. But Chris J making life somewhat difficult there towards B storage. Just denying any fragging scenarios, it seems. And all will be well for Mousesports.
These are great rounds for Mousesports in terms of building that economy. Well, would have been. Actually, they did miss a few plays in the last round as well, so it could be a lot better for Mousesports on reflection, but could barely be better in terms of score. 4-0 now. Immortals coming back on the bye, and they really want Henny on that AWP, and indeed he is, but at what cost? He's got no Kevlar. Christian AWP as well. Let's have a look and see if Immortals can right the ship before it starts to sink. No forwards. Well, Lucas had a super forward spawn, interestingly. In some other teams, you would see the AWP thrown to him so we could try and pick off somebody moving towards the white box on short, but there is no such play early from Mousesports at the very least. Dennis moves there after the smoke goes down. So they know what power Henny has, and they will respect that for the time being.
Oh, that is nice. Little double nades there. It's rare that you see that just straight up make the kill. So, early advantage for Mousesports. That is such a relief for them. Again, going into this 5th round and starting off on the CT side with already killing a man. And Immortals are trying to play the picks. This might end up being an even slower round now because Immortals, they're going to really feel very pressured to get a pick here before they make a move. They don't want to play at a 4 versus 5 if they can avoid it. But that might be all that they're available to do, because Mousesports are starting to play much more passively. There's only really Dennis who's poking into mid every so often by Whitebox, and Chris J obviously on an angle, trying to play it fairly safe.
I want to give a shout out to Existence, because you saw Lucas throwing the Molotov into the vent through the smoke. Existence, watching Titan demos back in the day, had full grenade executes behind the smoke in the middle area. It's nuts. So Chris J. But that's not enough for Immortals. They're a man down, and they are down on time as well. Dennis with a forward position towards A. Mousesports have the information. We've got a... Bolts have the information. We've got a... Gravity bringing the CTs down towards B. Will they get there in time though? Lowell and the team on the site. They've got the counter flashes. They've got the Molotovs as well. If they get smokes on onto the site, it'll be even worse for the T's. Finally, the charge comes in. There's still no frags from Immortals. Down goes Steel. Spiddy's still holding angles. Lucas heavily tagged. So is Chris J though. Things could spin around, but now it's Bolts alone versus 3. 12 seconds. He can't plant the bomb. This is surely going to go the way of Mousesports.
And I think what we just saw here as well was one of the weaknesses that you see of the Immortals team. They're the most strategic.
Now it's Bolts alone versus 3. 12 seconds. He can't plant the bomb. This is surely going to go the way of Mousesports.
And I think what we or tactical team, and that double nade pick at the start of the round, that set Immortals back. It put them in a spot where they needed to be, and then to decide to like build out of that with, you know, in other tactical plays around the map to try to open up an option towards A or towards B, and then to decide to like build out of that with, you know, bomb site, because Mousesports played it smart. They didn't give Immortals a chance to play, and then to decide to like build out of that with, you know, in other tactical plays around the map to try to open up an option towards A or towards bomb site.
They're making less errors than Yanko enjoys watching. From Nico, that will be a problem for these T's as they're going to try straight through the flashbang. Lowell as well. Lucas is the last man standing. Always watching from Nico. That will be a problem for these T's as they're going to try straight through the flashbang.
They got a little bit fortunate that their double nade was completely spot on and just nailed Phelps straight away in the second proper buy round of Immortals. Charlie's extra damage is overall denied more than one. Charlie's extra damage is overall denied more than one.
Earlier of NIP, but on the plus side, either team who loses this will be 2 for 2. This is not an elimination match, but it is a match to qualify for the major. And Mousesports are really supercharged. Chris J spotting some players, or spotting a player perhaps. He was waiting for the flashbang to come in, but
And now this is an interesting thing, because we get to see now the first time that Mousesports can play the advantage that they have. They've already got that pick. They don't need enough. And now this is an interesting thing, because we get to see now go their way. It should be easy for Immortals to close this down now with just attacking a bomb site. And now this is an interesting thing, because we get to see now the first time that Mousesports have
in for support. They see Henny, but he can't get the kill onto Nico. The single scope, not going to be...
can play the advantage that they have. They've already got that pick. They don't need enough.
Long, Nico in position on high ground, but oh, he moves away. That might be a problem. But takes it down immediately. 5 first.
Getting really awkward now. Immortals have really fluffed their coordination into the site with the numbers advantage, kind of peeking one by one, giving a chance to come back into this one. That is a round that Immortals should never be losing. They go. But that's a basic error that's cost them massively, and they do have another buy here, but it's not nearly as good as the last round.
With a play like that, so close to qualifying for the major. Some people feel like they should have qualified before. Now you've got those long smokes coming in. It's a long rotation if you force behind it. But he's against 4. Before. Now you've got those long smokes coming in.
Again, we've seen some good play from Mousesports. They haven't had to make any hard decisions, but they've been playing the basics quite well, to be honest. And it's Immortals who've had, because it's no.
Speaking of mistakes, Mousesports very excited, but look how forward Chris J's spawn is. He has probably the best spawn you can get on the scene.
Regardless of what the opposing team has. It's as an AWPer, if you get a really good spawn, you kind of don't want to waste it. It feels like a crime. It feels like a crime to waste the spawn. But so we're going to have that 5 versus 4. Chris J was successful. Nico in position to deal with it.
Great hold. Goes straight to the box as well, the safer option, just to avoid going down. Keeping an eye on the CT economy. No need to dive for no reason.
Nika in position to deal with it.
Great hold. Goes straight to the box as well, the safer option, just to avoid going down. Keeping an eye on the CT economy. No need to dive for no reason.
Are able to take map control more based on that, or develop plays more based on that, as opposed to their use of coordination and utility most of the time. So here we go.
Keeping an eye on the CT.
Aggression into the warehouse in middle, and immediately once again low straight.
Bolt's holding a passive angle. Angles at the same time on the T side. Low will be forced from his position. That was an issue that Jacob always had to face when he was playing CT for FaZe, but always did a good job of escaping. By one they go down.
Yeah, just finding all those beautiful angles. There's no and now we do have a forward position here for Phelps. He's got himself gobble him up, and now it's just be Bolts looking for the trade kill, but he's got so much to deal with right now. Chris J pulls out the pistol, and that's going to be good enough to deal with.
Playing well. They're playing very well at present. Immortal won't come out of it just yet. This time, BD underneath the vents.
And interesting.
Immortal come out of it.
Try to help him out, but Mouse Sports had a very nice setup. They had 3 players to respond.
3 towards B. They need to capitalize on this. They've got a player towards Squeaky, 1 main and 1 in mid, but and now the numbers of Immortals are running down. They still haven't got a bomb planted just yet. Steel has
And that's going to be him done. Henny against Spiddy and Lowell gets caught in the side. Another round to Mouse. So badly, and they believe it. Conan, what is best in life? I don't think